My name's Doug MacCash. We are down on Orleans Avenue hanging out with the Endymion squatters. This is a whole culture going on of claiming territory more than 24 hours before New Orleans' biggest parade. I'm here with Ryan Ballard, the High Priest of the Intergalactic Crew of Chewbacca. This is Doug MacCash. I'm going to get some dancing tips from the dancing cop.
And it's just to start it off, right. Okay? Now remember, don't worry about the camera and everyone watching, okay? So just start off, it's very simple. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Come on, feel that rhythm. 1, 2, come on, bring them up. 1, 2, 1, 2, okay. 1, 2, now stop.
This is such a bad idea.
Let's say hunker down.
Hunker down.
Hunker down, y'all.
Hunker down.
Hunker down. Hunker down.
Hunker down.
Hunker down.
Hunker down.
Miller Lite,
Carved up.
some tasty morsels from a cartridge from Colorado. I'm feeling good.
Oh, nice. That's
feeling
what
good.
it is.
Yeah.
It's less the other two.
The fleas are dead.
It's a new day.
Thank God Almighty, the fleas are dead. Everything's coming up Alli today.
So far.
It's fucking right.
Right, it's early.
Yeah.
Plenty of time left.
Is it started?
Yeah, hey, let's start.
Okay, he started.
Okay.
And he didn't tell us.
It was a cold open.
And another one.
You can't vamp? Oh, he's got to do his
Yeah, let's
ritual
open the
things.
beer and then the show can
Well,
begin.
because podcasts do that. If you notice when they leave, a lot of times one of the members says a thing at the end of it. Or sometimes at the beginning of it, too. It's something that legitimate podcasters do, not
We're not legitimate.
cardboard box motherfuckers like us.
Yeah, so welcome to Illegitimate Hunker Downcast episode 55. This is Jeff.
55?
Yeah.
The double nickel.
Allie and Lance over there.
Woo.
And we've made it. We made 55. How do you feel?
We are eligible for AARP membership.
Oh, thank God.
I think it's also Jonathan Vilma's number. No, it's 51. What saint would we be right now? A famous 55. Come on, Saints trivia.
Oh, God. Mark Fields? No, that's not right. All right, we have to check the...
Definitely like a linebacker or something.
It sounds like it would
They're
be.
those 50 guys.
Yeah.
55. Brian Bosworth was a 55.
He was.
That matters.
He wanted to be a 44.
But they couldn't do that.
It was a huge controversy
It's a
in the
fullback
NFL
number,
at the time.
Man. Come on, bro.
It was a big deal.
The Boz.
Yeah.
Didn't work out for him.
That's a Brian Bosworth reference for the kids out there.
It's 3 minutes. We're 3 minutes into this. We've already got a Brian Bosworth reference out of the way.
I only know about Brian Bosworth because they made a 30 for 30 about him.
Yeah, and they, as they always do with that show, they take whatever piece of shit they happen to be covering and paint them they fluff them on up in those fucking things every time, man.
What?
What do you mean by that?
In the 30 by 30s. Like, Brian Bosworth was kind of a piece of shit.
Oh, it was very clear about how that was true.
But they fluff them up at the end always. It's like the behind the music of sports.
No,
they're a piece of shit. They fucked everything up, and at the end, just so they don't go, oh, we don't want the viewers walking away thinking the person was a complete piece of shit.
I definitely don't think that's how they do that.
What,
on 30 for 30?
Let's not talk about it. Let's move on.
Sorry.
We lost a couple viewers. People who are just coming in, we're like, let's check these guys out. Wait, no, stop. 15 seconds, 15 seconds, 15 seconds forward, 15 seconds. Fuck it, I'm out.
Is this an ad for 30 for 30? Is there a promo code I should be listening for? No, the answer is no.
What were we supposed to talk about?
Mattresses that they can use, that they can order in the mail and get delivered. Razors.
What other kind of
Blue Chew? Some of my podcasts sell Blue Chew.
Sometimes it's that hair loss stuff.
Watches. it's almost like a $500 watch, but it's a $100 watch. I was like, neither of those. Fuck both of those.
Web hosting platforms?
Mattresses are funny to me because they made the transition from radio to podcasting. Like, I used to hear, like, particularly the local guys would, like, do mattress ads all the time. And it would be those fucking ridiculous ones where the guy tries to act like they actually use the product and love the product. And they always do such a good job that I'm like, even kayfabe me is like, damn, maybe that shit is good, you know?
So
maybe Spud really did sleep on that mattress, you know?
That's the worst thing. Well, all right. I don't want to get into it.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about mattresses.
Right.
We've got we have so many other things that happened.
Yes. Where would we like to start? Because
Mardi Gras has fucking begun.
Well, let's start with I think let's start with the news from yesterday and where we're sitting right now.
Okay, so we are recording tonight from the from downtown Central City, cusp of Garden District, right?
Yeah.
Which is right next door to the scene of yesterday's national disaster.
We were on scenic 3rd Street,
and
so we can taste the ashes of the Rex memorabilia in the air,
as if we didn't get enough of it yesterday, because that shit was all over town.
I mean, there's still blue lights and there's hoses in all the fire hydrants, and like this is an ongoing investigation. Artwork all over the fence.
I mean, yeah, if you could call Simone artwork.
I was gonna go digging through the through the ashes to find like Comus doubloons.
Yeah.
And like see if it would burn my hand like the guy in Indiana Jones.
Yes.
And I'd have like Comus on my hand forever. It
would shrivel up your hand and it slowly like cause a like flesh-eating bacteria or whatever to like move up your arm.
Oh yeah, it would be like blood poison.
Necrotizing fasciitis or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it would just like slowly wither away. Or like grayscale in Game of Thrones. Yeah.
You can find a cure for that.
I remember some things.
What did you say?
Yeah, the cure is full communism. Taking these people's money.
So they're still over there today, and it's been like what day is this? This is Thursday, and the thing happened yesterday at like 7:00 in the morning when they started taking over the block.
Yes,
and before I knew it, like
our daddy Bernie Sanders was announcing that he's running for president.
Is that? I feel like these happened in successive days, but maybe you're right about this. Maybe
it was a smash the what do you call it? Not the patriarchy, but
the plutocracy.
The plutocracy.
The millionaires and billionaires
type morning.
And
right.
Yeah.
And it was also
his house is now worth $27.
I thought it was weird. Like once the city hall fire alarm went off too. And I started seeing that come out, I had a plane just hit the second building type moment. Because I was just like, wait a minute. They're fucking hitting points of leadership around here, man. There's a fucking serial arsonist who's making his way around town, lighting fucking shit on fire. Then, come to find out, I don't mean to sound too disappointed. It was just a false alarm. No, but pretty good fucking smoke alarms at City Hall. Fuck.
Right, like so.
You're right. He did announce on Tuesday.
It was Tuesday. So Bernie Sanders, but still, there's a causality in operation here.
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders announces on Tuesday, and we've burned down the Rex house the one day after. I think that things are kind of getting out of getting out of hand.
Things are off to a great start.
Right. The revolution has begun.
That's a pretty good Bernie.
That is.
If everyone would just sign my petition online, and we could get 1 million to get behind political revolution, we will make this the most successful Mardi Gras in history.
We need to do an interview with Jeff Byrne.
But anyway, you were talking about the smoke.
Jeffrey Sanders, what do you think caused the fire? Spit it out. Come on, you can do it.
90% of the wealth in this country is going to the top 1%, and when you get all of the wealth in one basement, there's a critical mass of all the robes.
All the bananas are piled down there.
Especially if it's mixed with pool chemicals.
Right.
Is that what caused it?
It doesn't help. The chlorine doesn't mix with the what is the other thing they put in there?
The obscene wealth generated by the 1%.
A Comus doubloon is made out of, something like that.
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
know.
So
we need to workshop this joke before we actually run it.
Right, yeah,
okay.
we didn't prep this at all.
obviously.
You're going to cut all of that, right?
All of that's going to be cut, and then we'll just...
Well, no, because then it'll take too long for that fucking episode to come out, and it'll be like... It'll be Fat Tuesday, and Jeff will be like, hey,
No.
if you're not doing anything else today, listen to our Krewe Du Vieux episode.
No, we're going to do a full recap of all the parades,
So
as we always do. And we're going to get obscenely drunk and go through each one in chronological
I'm
order.
looking forward to it.
It's one of my favorite things.
Well, we're not going to have to take too long, because we're going to do Krewe Du Vieux tonight, but we're not quite ready for that.
Well, let's hammer out this episode with the fire. Okay, so the smoke is going all the way, all that direction, like away from our house. That's the key thing for us.
That's the important part.
Literally 1 block away.
And so this huge plume of smoke is setting off fire alarms or smoke alarms in City Hall, which is like a mile and a half away to the, I guess you would call it the downtown side. Like, there's almost, like, in here it doesn't smell like smoke. Today it doesn't smell like smoke.
Outside, a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Like, yesterday it didn't smell like smoke in here. The only thing that happened to us is that the fire engines all took over all of our block, and my car is parked, like, right up on, like, the corner of St. Charles. Like, there's a fire hydrant right in front of me. So, like, I've got, like, hoses running, like, in front, like, encircling my car, and there's, like, a fire engine behind me, and there were like 3 fire engines in front, and then like other trucks and tents and things, and it's like...
I mean, they said that like 80 firefighters came out to help.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was a 7-alarm fire or something.
Yeah, it was a full deployment of everything.
That's incredible.
But the key is that I couldn't move my car.
that's a lot.
That's the important thing that
Right.
I really want to emphasize is that
its impact on you personally.
me personally, I was not allowed to move my car.
I can't
for like a
believe
day.
your car survived the heat.
Yeah, and it seemed like it just, with the nature of the universe, would have took the car out.
Right. Also,
Especially, it's really close.
That's bullshit.
right after I parked around the corner, you know what drove past me? A white Toyota Tercel from the 90s. I was
With
like,
that little half moon kind of rear window, that
Yeah.
little pear shape.
man, it was like, but it had no stickers on it. I was like, why do I always see these fucking cars
Those
everywhere,
cars
man?
are going to last forever. That's what y'all don't understand. It survives fires. When Mad Max actually happens, that's what they're going to be riding around in.
When all the insects and the birds are dead, and the fish are dead, and we're all living on corn slurry, we'll be eating it inside a Toyota Tercel.
We'll be racing through the desert on like in like a. It's not going to have a roof. It's just be like a shell of it, but it's going to be a Tercel body.
I would
Okay.
like to see it.
Oh, you'll be dead by then.
I'll be dead. We'll all be dead.
No, I'm going to still be alive. But
Okay.
you won't make it that long.
You're pissing on my grave, you're saying.
No, I'm just saying I think this is a blessing. You're not gonna have to live
I'm too good.
through the corn slurry years.
All right. I don't think I'm kind of already in the corn slurry.
You're gonna
years.
wait. You're gonna ride that heroin wave out of here before we get to that.
All right. You got some?
No.
All right. Well, we'll talk about it after the cast. So the reaction on Twitter was either, "Oh my God, what a horrible thing," or "Man, fuck those motherfuckers," and there was very little in between.
Well, Twitter being Twitter, I mean, you can only have one of 2 opinions.
There's no
usually.
nuances.
The 2 genders.
Right. Yeah.
Sith and Jedi.
I'm glad that you were watching that because I really wasn't even paying too much attention to that. But that doesn't surprise me to hear at all.
Well, there was a perfect opportunity for people to fucking show how hardcore they are or how sympathetic they were. So if somebody's
They will take those opportunities.
basic motivation was to show them how unsympathetic they are, then here was a perfect opportunity for them to show that. Or if somebody wanted to show that they like, hey, I know they're not really great people, but a horrible thing fucking befell them, so let's just, they had their opportunity to do it. And then there's the watchers like myself, just no dog in the fight, really.
I just remixed the Carnival Time lyrics to be about the incident. I think, where does that fall on your scale?
I think I counted you as a gloater.
Yeah, I mean, I was gloating a little bit about all the Comus memorabilia going up in flames.
That's cool. Like I said, there's no right or wrong here.
I'm actually sad about the structure itself and like the it's like historic value and all of that. Like that bums me out a little bit, but I am going to reserve my empathy for like people who a house fire like that would cause them like a life-ending spiral of homelessness and poverty and all of that. So yeah, I'm not sorry.
You're pleased that no one was hurt, right?
Yeah, of course.
So that's one way.
Yeah,
can
everybody
say.
lived. The dog lived. Like they're fine. Yeah.
I didn't even know there were people in there.
Yeah, there was a woman and her grandmother and the elderly poodle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So they all got out.
What its name was?
I don't know. It's one of the attack poodles.
Oh, like a standard?
At one time, there were 3 very large black poodles that lived there, and they were very aggressive. And they would, like, if you walked too close to the fence, they would howl at you. Like you would think that perhaps Smithers would release them, and you would have to run.
The big standard poodles.
The big black ones.
They're good ones, yeah.
Yeah, they were scary. So that maybe that's one of those poodles. I don't know. I've been living next to them for a long time. So
yeah, you've been here for like
50 years,
20 years,
yeah,
or something
like that.
Well, I'm glad this has come up also because I hate to say it, but this means that Jeff is going to be evicted.
What?
Why?
Because there was always a balance on the corners. I know it sucks.
Speak this into existence.
When the fire happened, it's nothing. There always must be balance in the force, and Jeff's existence in this apartment balanced that house out, and that house being there with its aristocracy,
they're going to
balance Jeff out.
Yeah, they're not leaving. They're going to rebuild the house.
Yeah, but
it's fine.
A schism has already happened, and the new Siths have been unleashed, and that means that the old Jedi and the old Siths must both die also. So that you were here and they were there, it was a perfect little dichotomy of New Orleans, and it kept this block in balance. And now that they're gone, so too you must be gone as well.
Well, they're not gone. And
the house is fucking burnt to a crisp, and you don't even know what they're gonna fucking do. Why would they rebuild it?
Well, I can tell you, on March 5th, Rex is still gonna come by, and they're all gonna be sitting out there in lawn chairs, and Rex is gonna toast them anyway.
That's right,
and that's gonna be absolutely fucking pathetic.
The aristocracy is going to continue to perpetuate itself. Now, when the revolution comes for real, what you're going to see is the millionaires and the billionaires and me are all going to go live under the bridge together, as God intended. But until that time,
when
I think we're going to be here.
When they do their little toast on Mardi Gras Day, it's going to be fucking pathetic. Like,
no,
y'all don't have to go do that.
Man, you know what though? It's going to be more. I think it's the kind of thing that like few people noticed unless they watch the parades around here, and now everyone's going to like want to come by and see it.
So this is what I'm really thinking about. This used to be one of my favorite little secrets, kind of Mardi Gras. One of the last, kind of local secrets, if you will. Not a lot of people know that Rex crosses over and comes up the wrong side of the street, right in these couple blocks here, just to stop and do that toast.
Yeah, the royal pee break.
The royal pee break, right? And one of the fun things is to watch all the people who've camped out and set up their ladders and shit on the other side of the road have to scramble and move their stuff the other side.
They don't barricade it off and shit?
What do you mean?
Like when they make the little turn over the neutral ground, that's not barricaded?
Yeah, but when people are in this block, they don't know that it's coming up the other side of the street.
Huh. They might could avoid that by barricading.
Let me put it this, a lot of people know, obviously, but there are people who this is their first time and they don't know what side of the street to be on. So that's neat. The other thing that's really neat about it is that it works out perfect for us because we get up in the morning and we set up all the food and then we go out and we go watch Zulu and we hang out over there for a while and then we walk back to the Sportsman's Corner and we see the wild magnolias come out and everything is timed just exactly perfectly so that by the time we're done with all that shit, Rex has arrived and is stopped. And so the parade stops and waits for us.
Right. That's awesome.
So yeah, it's perfect. And it's you were talking earlier about there are two opinions. You either hate it or you love it that this happened. And
on Twitter there were.
Right.
Can't speak for me personally.
And I can't really speak for me personally either because and this is like a thing that kind of gets to like the heart of like what Mardi Gras is for me. Like it's yeah, let's look at all these social inequalities and like signifiers of the things that are right and wrong, and the fact that our local aristocracy actually get up in literal like hose and crowns and shit and parade through the streets and show you themselves in wigs and stuff. I mean, that's...
And weird balls.
Yeah, hangy balls.
Strange ones. Just feeling like there's somebody going to be, a child be eaten in the back.
Oh, like Pizzagate balls. Yeah.
Yeah. Like they had to get the idea from somewhere.
Jeffrey Epstein balls.
True Blood Season 1 balls.
You mean True Detective?
True Detective, yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out what
Louisiana-based True in the title.
Carcosa balls. Yeah.
They might have been in the same universe. You never know.
But the point is, it's going to be different now, and I hope it. Like I kind of want them to come back, and if we're not,
because you detect that there's an imbalance in the force.
If we're not yet ready to destroy capitalism, then at least let them come back and have their little pageant out there where we can all see them.
Oh, well, that's giving them a lot, isn't it?
It's easier to keep an eye on them when you know that they live right there.
That's what I think.
Well, yeah, we need to elect Daddy Bernie so that we can take all their money. But until then, yeah, at least the parade comes to you, right?
Right. Maybe don't phrase it as take all their money, even though that's probably what's going to happen. Well, no, let them keep the money they already got, all the future earnings, right? Oh, never mind. I don't want to get into.
Yeah, but you're going to solve.
This is the Mardi Gras episode.
Yeah, okay.
Let's not. This isn't the election 2020 episode. So that happened.
So there will be plenty of time to talk about this when the primary begins. But as of now, just go to our website, sign a petition. Thank you very much.
Good. So that happened.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Mardi Gras that the Rex house burned down. And it just so happened to be the one that we were all familiar with. So when it was happening also, I was like, is that the one by Jeff's house? And then I went and looked and I was like, Jesus, that's the one by Jeff's house. And then I was like, man, it sucks because now there's an imbalance in the force and Jeff's going to have to move out.
Right, so back to the things that affect me personally. I haven't been able to use my car. I still can't use my car. It's still boxed in by...
yellow tape, though.
Yellow
tape. You could drive through that.
Probably.
I drove through it.
Okay, so
we drove through it on the way here.
To get here.
Carondelet, yeah.
But, I probably could get it out now. I haven't been able to get it out.
What did you say they're doing over there? The phrase you used on the way here?
Oh, why they're still out there?
Yeah, they're...
So in the paper this afternoon, they said they were sitting vigil over the hot spots.
And a flame did shoot back up.
I watched it happen yesterday. Like, they thought they had it under control, and I saw, like, flames then reemerge from the side of the house, and they had to go scramble. And
that's what I've been doing with all my flea bites for the last few weeks.
Oh, they flame up again?
Sitting vigil over the hot spots.
The thing about one of those houses...
Waiting to throw some cream on there.
When they burn it, it fucks everyone's sinuses up, but... having worked with salvaged wood and the finer, woods that we have here in New Orleans, the tiniest little scraps they usually burn at the end of the year at the party we used to have, and it smells so fucking good, when it burns. And so, like, when I walked outside that day, I was like, you could tell even before you even read the news that an old house was burning somewhere in town, because the whole city smells like a good burning heart pine.
God.
And you just know an old house is burning out there.
It's going to smell like
fucked
that.
Fucked up, man.
Yeah, it still smells good.
It's going to smell like that for weeks.
Yeah.
Another one burnt like on Britannia Street a few years ago.
Yeah, that was a big one.
There was another one of those.
That was a little shady too, right?
I don't know.
You mean the one on Napoleon?
No, on Britannia and I think on 3rd actually. It's like
oh yeah, that one. Because I remember the one on Britannia or on Napoleon that burned. It was like Napoleon and like Dryads or something.
Yeah.
This is maybe like 8 or 9 years ago. Because I was going home and I had to call the fire department because I saw it. Like, it was one of those houses that was being worked on. And now it's like condos or whatever.
Which is what this one's going to be.
And
it's my prediction.
It was being worked on, but like there was nobody there. And all of a sudden I I see it and I pull over and like there's nobody there, and I called the fire department, and it went from like a small thing to a huge thing, like so quick. It was unbelievable.
And that same thing happened over here.
Yeah.
And they said this. They said that these old houses, they're not fireproofed in the way that like buildings are now. Like there's no breaks between the studs or whatever, and it just it goes up like a balloon. And it totally did. Like it was like 7:30 in the morning. I heard the first truck arrive, and I kind of something's going on. I poked my head out, and you could see a little bit of the smoke coming off of it, and like you start to think, oh shit, that's real. And then like 30 minutes later, like there's like 7 trucks and things.
God.
And you're thinking, holy shit, the Rex house is burning the fuck down.
Well, yeah.
During Mardi Gras.
I mean,
That's like Antoinette Cato dying on Mardi Gras Day or something, man. That's maybe it will be a special Mardi Gras.
It's the biggest flambeau you could hire to light the way of the whatever.
Well, even I might creep down and check out that toast. What time does it usually happen?
Well, so like I don't know, 10:30, 11, something like that.
Forget it.
I could probably
Absolutely
pinpoint
not.
it for you
Still
if we check
Rex
the record.
or Zulu.
Really?
Nope.
That's amazing.
I've seen Rex
It
a
is.
few times, but I'm more of a downtown Mardi Gras Day these days.
Yeah, indeed. The new Mardi Gras.
No.
Allie's a newcomer, a post-Katrina transplant who's celebrating the new Mardi Gras. Tell us about that, Jeff.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm going to get a beer.
Yeah, me too.
Well, okay, so it's early season Carnival right now, and this year's
Late season, though. It's a late season Carnival, but it's late season.
it's early parade season, I guess, is what we should say.
It's fucking, and also the weather's not helping because it feels like it's fucking late March right now. So that is also adding to the what the fuck is up with this?
Yeah,
Mardi
the
Gras.
weather is a fucking asshole.
The weather is a dick, especially yesterday with the fire. That fucking didn't help because I think that weather just kept all the smoke.
Someone described the weather as it feels like the inside of someone's mouth. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's exactly that gross, slimy feeling.
It
that
was
has.
sucks.
Yeah, usually Krewe Du Vieux is like bundle up night, and it wasn't this year.
No, I was kind of sweaty.
And I don't know if we're gonna even have one of those, but
No.
It's
Anyway.
too late. It feels like it's been Mardi Gras for like 4 months.
it's a little off.
And we haven't even... I mean, we've done Krewe Du Vieux, and that's about it.
Yeah, I kind of feel like a couple weeks ago I was thinking it was good that we were having a late one this year, especially with all the the Saint stuff. Like I needed some time to get ready, and I was feeling really good. But now I'm like, I don't know. It's Mardi Gras.
Yeah, a week earlier, I think we would have been all right.
Well,
We had a lot of trauma. The Saints caused a lot of trauma. And then right after that Saints thing happened, what we needed was some fucking Mardi Gras. And then another 2 weeks went by, and then it was this like lonely wasteland type, emotional wasteland area.
Okay.
And now that it's finally happened, we're all kind of drained, and the global warming, you know.
Okay, thank you
it's
for
like,
thank you for throwing the global warming. in.
yeah, and then everything else, you know, everything's really sinking in, and now we got to really dig deep. At least I do.
Do you guys know it snowed in Las Vegas? Shit is fucked up.
And it hailed in Southern California, and they were
Yeah.
all calling it snow.
What a world. What a time. What a time.
So tell us about the new Mardi Gras, Jeff.
Oh, you want me to...
Oh, you go ahead.
Am I supposed to read it?
Yeah, while she cues that up, they're trying to. It's almost like they purposely tried to rectify this situation that you were talking about with the lull, because they went and took Chewbacca's and pulled it out of its normal spot
And then
and threw it into the beginning.
that was like the Fast Times at Ridgemont High TV show or something like that. That was like that parade was like a movie that was popular that they decided to make a TV show out of that ended up sucking. You know, just like, oh, here's a Mardi Gras, and I was just like, that night I sat across the street from the gallery at Harry's and drank until I could conjure enough up to go see the parade, which was really only 4 or 5 blocks away, and failed. I just didn't even bother.
You didn't go look at it?
And I just fucking bounced. It's the leader of the new Mardi Gras movie. Tell us about the new Mardi Gras, Alli, and do it in Mr. New Mardi Gras' voice.
Well,
You're not ready yet?
yeah.
You can do it. All right.
The Mardi Gras 2019 Rookie of the Year Award goes to the new Krewe Du Vieux foot parade that made its debut in the Marigny and French Quarter on Friday, February 15. The largely female procession succeeded perfectly in capturing the delicious decadence of Paris in the 1920s.
That's alliteration.
Oh my God.
I know this because I've seen the movie Midnight in Paris 3 times. The first Krewe Du Vieux parade was a beautiful, intimate, sometimes alluring, sometimes absurd ramble that instantly became an important part of what I call the new Mardi Gras. That assortment of idiosyncratic post-Katrina downtown parades, such as Joan of Arc, Chewbacca, and T-Rex, that are redefining the big party. If you're counting, that was 3 parentheticals in 2 paragraphs.
Are you counting the February 15th as the parenthetical?
I am.
Okay, well, yeah.
I saw the parade.
Which one? Wait, Krewe Du Vieux?
Yes.
The largely female? What does that even mean?
Where you saw one dude.
It was kind of, you could say it was that, or you could also say it was a bunch of drunk people walking down the street in costumes. And that's what MacCash is trying to say is that there's a bunch of drunk people walking down the street in costumes.
Yes.
And oftentimes they're pulling a trailer made out of sometimes plywood, sometimes cardboard, sometimes stucco, sometimes paper mache type little thing. And they pull it behind them, and they walk down the street, and they have something that lights up on them. And there's a pink wig, and there's a green wig, and there's a purple wig, and then there's some shiny pants. And they walk down the street, and that's what happens. That's the new Mardi Gras. That's what's redefining the big party right there. And it's just like, okay, whatever. You see that pretty much all the fucking time if you've lived in New Orleans any number of years. You see it on fucking St. Patrick's Day. There's a bunch of people walking down the street, and they got the fucking funny things on. On Halloween, it happens a fucking lot. On any number of Mardi Gras days, if you've been through downtown, it happened a lot.
Right.
And it's not a post-Katrina thing either. Lots of walking crews have done it for many, many, many fucking years. I have pictures of us in the 90s doing it, So how it's the new Mardi Gras, I don't know. Please explain it to me, Jeff.
Oh, no, I would like you to explain it to me. I have no idea. Other than that it is just an invention in MacCash's head that he has decided to use to troll people. It's
because he's a journalist, and this is his time.
Well, he says in another parenthetical, parades are like campfires. You can build a big one and stand way back, or build a smaller one and get real close. He also says there will be bigger parades in the coming days, spelled D-A-Z-E.
Oh my God.
No, he didn't.
He did.
Fuck, Doug.
It's like a campfire or a mansion fire. Do you get real close to that, or do you stand far away from it?
Well, maybe next year in T-Rex they'll build a tiny version and then light it on fire while it's going up the street.
You get to work on that right now.
Okay. That's my idea. Don't steal it.
Somebody's going to steal it.
Well, I've seen a number of these of these new Mardi Gras parades. Is what MacCash is talking about, and they're all the same thing. They're people drunk walking down the street, or maybe not drunk, on drugs. It doesn't fucking matter. People wearing their costumes that you basically would see everywhere on Mardi Gras Day, except they lined up in a little row and they go down the street and music to it. And it's these type of parades that I call more fun to be in than to watch.
Well,
like if you're watching it, you just like everyone I saw watching it were sort of having a good time. But if you're in it, it's really cool. And really only half of them are really into it, because a lot of times, I remember a few years back I saw somebody walking down the street in Chewbacca, and they were eating a sandwich.
I think you were onto it a minute ago where you said that it's not really anything new. It's something that you see on Mardi Gras Day. You see everywhere.
Forever.
And people, and it's kind of it's more like fundamental carnival. Really, it's get out in the street and do the wackiest thing you can.
Get you a little crew,
do something creative.
Crew of cork, crew of butterfly, crew of dragonflies. There's all kinds of little walking crews, and it's gone on for a long fucking time.
Yeah, like hundreds of years.
And to say, oh, it's Doug.
So Doug has selected specifically a couple of them that have come about in the more recent years that I will give him this. Like Chewbacca does tend to draw into its membership people who are recent arrivals to New Orleans, who are in kind of the circle of people who like come to New Orleans with a lot of money and have like you know what I mean, like yuppie transplants. It's not all of them. It's in so I'm not going to say like not all Chewbacca's, but like that's kind of the general thing that's going on there, and MacCash is kind of like using that to poke at everyone and troll what he knows is an instant controversy, right? Like people are going to get into their like, were you born in New Orleans or not?
Oh, so he's
argument.
doing it so he can be the puppet master of the whole thing?
I mean, that's what I would think.
If he was skilled as a writer and a thinker, then I would trust him in that position, but he's really just basically the lone survivor of the massacre that happened at the Times-Picayune over the last 10 years. Mm-hmm. He's just like that character, he's like Peter Baelish, that character in the TV show that somehow, amongst all, when everyone else gets wiped out, he hides underneath the couch or whatever, or does what he can do to survive. Certainly not writing skills. And now he's found himself at the end of it. I'm sorry, Doug, if you're listening. Well, I don't mean to be like being so harsh on you, but you do kind of deserve it.
Yeah, I guess my problem with it is that it's not accurate. It's a bad take, and it's an intentionally bad take meant to generate controversy. And I think, in fact, you found an article from a couple years ago where it was the whole point of it was, is there such a thing as a new Mardi Gras?
At the end, yeah.
Let's go ask some people. And
it was from last year, and he had written it, and I don't even think his byline was on it, which was smart. And at the end of it, he was like, am I just making stuff up right here? And like, if you have to ask that, then the answer has to be fucking yes. Once you ask yourself that, right? So,
and if that's from 2017 and that's where you are with it, where like you have gone and presented the both sides, and then decided, well, maybe this is hokey, and then like you're still doing it this year,
continue to do so,
yeah.
And then also like now there's articles written about that parade, right? Whereas other parades that might be up and coming, like that may some parades that you like. What's the one that's your favorite? That's coming Sunday.
Oh, Femme Fatale.
The Femme Fatale.
Well, it's been a good parade the last couple of years. Yeah.
Here's a crew that has floats, puts in the work. People have been here a long time. It's a great fucking little instance of Mardi Gras. They don't get the pub, but Crew La Boheme. They get some pub out of it, and they're a bunch of walking crews that got thrown together and that put a parade together, and they walk down the street in their little carts pulling their paper mache floats. And that's all great, and that's all good, and it's all very creative, and it's a beautiful thing. Somebody comes and looks at that and thinks that's Mardi Gras. It kind of exposes the business to a certain extent. Kind of it's just like, wait a minute, that's not fucking Mardi Gras. Is that Mardi Gras? Is that what everyone has been freaking out about?
I don't know. I think that Mardi Gras can be a whole bunch of different things, and
not if that's the only thing you saw.
Well, it's
a bunch of drunk people walking down the street, and
I don't want to get into that though, because I think that you can do like anybody can come here and have no context and see one thing and go, that's Mardi Gras, and then leave and have no idea what they saw.
Well, more so are doing it when newspaper articles are being written about it, as if it's the new fucking.
Right, so
the new shit.
That's the other problem.
And sold like alluring, and I saw the parade. It wasn't none of them fucking things.
Mm-hmm. Well, so here's the other thing.
I was not allured at all. It looked like 2% or 1% or 0.5% of what you see on Mardi Gras Day.
Yeah.
I think going back to the article that Jules wrote on Chewbacca's is really important because he talks about the transition from the Grand Parade era of Carnival into like the current kind of post, like he calls it the cybernetic era of Carnival.
So this is a Jules Bentley article in Anti-Gravity from I think 2015.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he says. On Chewbacca's website, they say, Chewbacca's is the future of revelry. We are DIY, homemade, homegrown, totally sustainable, green to the gills, and the first true open source parade. None of these characteristics are unique to Chewbacca's, but that ahistorical sense of themselves as brave pioneers, as both the first and the future, is a hallmark of the millennial creative class, brave little Columbuses discovering new lands everywhere they look. And then he later goes on to say, the era of cybernetic Carnival seeks to appropriate the irreverence of Krewe Du Vieux, reducing that crew's incisive political and social satire to a directionless but consumer-attractive pose of subversiveness. Instead of engaging current events or the foibles of the powerful, Chewbacca's participants engaged in a postmodern remixing of consumer culture, a Hollywood film alien mixed with a burlesque dancer mixed with a robot from a Japanese cartoon. It's the parade version of YouTube poop, that hyper-popular, hyper-chaotic video mashup genre comprised of fast-cut, deliberately jarring pop culture juxtapositions.
That's perfect. I mean, it's Dadaist, right? Like it's just references instead of jokes. It doesn't mean anything, but like, hey, everybody gets it, and here's our thing.
And the Columbusing kind of sums up the whole new Mardi Gras thing to me, where it's just like, this is the same thing people have been doing for years and years, and yet you are discovering it, even though it's existed forever and whatnot.
Those are both very good points.
Both the first and the future. I think that's like just a really concise way of summarizing that mindset, that people think that they are the first ones to ever do it, and they've also just taken this tradition into the future.
Right, and they're going to do it better, and they're going to show you how it's done now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all true. And so I have two things to say about this. One is, what I really like about Jules's article is that he compares it to Comus.
Yeah.
Like the arrival of Comus, when in its day, was a version of this. Carnival was more, in fact, in New Orleans, was more chaotic, more like what we're just describing. You know, people kind of loose in the street doing their own thing, and to such a degree that it made the powers that be a little bit uncomfortable. But the arrival of Comus was an assertion by who new money come to town from the other parts of America. People like, say, for example, Robert Downman, who had arrived here. If you read the article about the Downman house, Robert Downman came to New Orleans, and he had a lumber company.
Yeah. Where
I think they I think the paper says they developed New Orleans East, but really what they did was they clear cut a lot of trees.
Yeah.
But an important part of the
same fucking lumber that burned in that house yesterday.
And a very important part of that article was that of the Times-Picayune article about the house was that when Robert Downman was Rex in 1907, they had invited to the house a lot of his friends from the Adirondacks, all of these wealthy people from elsewhere who had come to New Orleans and made it their own. That is what that's what Rex and Comus are. They're the new money at the time.
Right.
And they redefine Carnival in the form that we now know as these, processions, these parades that we, have elaborated over the years.
As a dedicated meeting of the courts watcher, I can tell you that a lot of times the Queen of Comus doesn't live in New Orleans. It's her grandparents live there, or her aunts and uncles live there, or whatever, and she'll come back from Virginia or wherever to be the Queen of Comus. Mm-hmm. But she'll have grown up somewhere else because it's this new money, or old money, but was new at the time, was from out of town.
Yeah, and so Jules's point is interesting because he talks about how the Chewbacca's phenomenon is kind of a new version of that. Mm-hmm. It's like these like the new money in the post Katrina like money networks like non-profiteers, but like also like bankers and people who are coming to New Orleans to invest in real estate and stuff. They're asserting their personality and putting that making their mark on Mardi Gras now. And it's I think it's a really good analogy. It's a way to think about the way things change, but they don't really change. And you can even be optimistic about it and saying like, well, this isn't the end of Mardi Gras, it isn't the end of Carnival. It's just the same shit happening over and over again.
Yeah, it's interesting the way that all of the different waves of Mardi Gras reflect different manifestations of who's in power and how they want others to see themselves. So like not just Comus, but like he talks about when after integration, when white New Orleanians fled to the suburbs to escape integrated schools, a new black political class took power, and in 1968, Zulu moved from the back streets to St. Charles Avenue and Canal Street. When the oil boom came along in the 70s, bringing New Orleanians a new wave of richer, newer, gaucher tycoons who saw little point in kissing Rex's rosy ring or Comus's wand, the Super Cruise arose, Endymion and Bacchus, which had out-of-town celebrity royalty, the biggest floats, the brightest lights, the most generous throws, and the largest parties, admitting damn near anyone who could afford it. And so, like, you can see these different waves of people staking their claim on not just Mardi Gras, but on, like, their place in the pecking order in this tiny town that we live in.
Right.
And you can see that now with, like, the new post-Katrina, like, recovery people who are, like, coming to save New Orleans and the way that they're doing that with Mardi Gras as well.
I would buy that if they were doing something different, but they're not. Like, nothing that they do strikes me as being anything particularly innovative or a change in any type of dynamic.
Well, it
just looks like an organized, like it's what they do on Mardi Gras Day, which everyone knows. There's probably 100 walking crews on Mardi Gras Day. Instead, now they're all just walking down the street in a parade.
But
it doesn't thrill me.
But Chewbacca's is not. It's different in the sense that it is drawing only on like pop culture references, and that's like newer because all of these previous parades were drawing on like mythology or history or their own like myth, their own local myth making,
right?
And instead, Chewbacca's draws on these like commercial and pop culture references in a way that like makes it very accessible, but is also totally like it's just a parade of like intellectual property owned by corporations.
Yeah,
and then this year they brought advertisements into the mix, right? And it's like they're taking Carnival in like a very disturbing direction to me.
Yeah, it's stupider. They're dumbing it down.
Right, and so that here you got to the point that I wanted to get us to, and
it brings it back to Doug.
It brings it right back to Doug because Doug not only is he playing into this mythology, he is actually he's talking about how this is the new thing, the future of Carnival, in Chewbacca's own words. There, he's buying it and selling it to you, and we don't. I don't know if MacCash believes this shit or if he just thinks it's something that will generate buzz. I think it's probably more the latter. But the other thing that MacCash did specifically this year was he made a controversy out of this question of advertisements. There is an article that he wrote a couple days before Chewbacca marched, where they addressed the possibility of having advertising banners in their parade, because they were technically outside of the 2 weeks or whatever the ordinance covers that would prohibit that in a Mardi Gras parade. And so MacCash highlights that quote that I think from one of the what do they call the titles of the Chewbacca's people? Some grand
Tubes?
No, there's like poobahs
Grand
or something.
Poobah or something.
Whatever
I don't know.
So overlords. Is what it is.
Okay.
So one of the overlords says to MacCash, "Hey, we could do advertising in our parade if we wanted to, because it's not prohibited." And MacCash runs that as if it's something that's going to happen, and that generated a lot of controversy that week, partially because some of us saw it and were like, "Hey, this
Oh
sucks."
hell no! They're banning Go Cups, y'all. They're banning Go Cups.
So we all got on Twitter and freaked out about it, and
I think it ended up being a bit of a much ado about nothing type situation.
it indeed did. It turned out that they said that no, we never were going to do that.
But the source was Doug.
The source was Doug, but so here's the thing: was it just Doug, or was it Doug and the Chewbacca's person? I don't even.
Well, the old Chewbacca's person is gone. There's a new Overlord.
But he quoted the Overlord in his piece. But the follow up from the Advocate, and I think it was Sue Strachan that did this. She went and followed up with them about it, and they denied that they even took that seriously. So it's very likely that MacCash exaggerated what was happening.
So he's kind of like our president, where he just doesn't care how much discord he creates as long as he is in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Doug, you're keeping yourself relevant, bro. You have risen up through irrelevance. This is a growth. Doug is growing before our very eyes.
You think?
We need to put a stop to Doug.
I think what you're...
Doug's going to be fucking president, man.
Ask yourself, what defines Mardi Gras in the early 21st century? Is there really such a thing as a new Mardi Gras? Certainly. Probably. Okay, maybe.
Oh my God. And then this is the article where at the end he admits that he's just fabricating the whole thing. It's like in the last...
There's something happening here, a new aesthetic, but it's not an easy concept to define. Dude, you're a fucking art critic, man.
Also, I think Jules knocked it out of the park, and we just,
Yeah, we don't need any of Doug's articles. We just need to read Jules.
Oh, God. And the pictures in this one are great. Your opinion. Okay, here it is.
I mean, it's basically...
Your opinions, spelled Y-E-R.
Fuck that.
Is there a new Mardi Gras, or is it just another faulty figment of this reporter's imagination?
He tells you right fucking there that it's all bullshit and you're getting worked.
I mean, that's great. I mean, I feel like that's Doug growing for real. But it's not because he's still doing it.
He's self-actualizing a little bit.
That's 2 years ago, and he's still doing it now.
Yeah.
So he's making himself relevant.
Right.
He's consuming souls and making himself relevant. He's on a Trump-like fucking trajectory. He's going to be the fucking mayor, y'all.
MacCash for mayor. MacCash 21. MacCash. That's it. All right. No,
a troubled reporter for troubled times.
Today, I walked by Tracy's, and there's a Drew Brees for Mayor 2021 sign hanging from there. And I don't know why, but I saw that. But now I've decided that if Brees is running, we need to run MacCash.
Against him?
Yes. Let's do it. Let's draft MacCash now. MacCash 21. Draft MacCash.
Wow. I don't know if I can get on board with this one.
I've met him. He's a nice guy.
He could be the mayor of New Orleans.
He is a nice guy.
He's bywater as fuck, though. He loves all that.
That's good.
He loves all the newcomers.
There you go.
Doesn't matter who's been here forever. And the funny thing is that when you see MacCash covering like crime and shit, it's like,
that's a
like who we got? Shit. Doug's just there. He just keeps staying relevant, man. He's slipping his way through. He's like fucking Littlefinger, man. He gets in there. He's gonna get himself all the way to the top.
Well, look, I think we went too far into this. I think we really need to talk about Krewe Du Vieux because, I mean, that's what we're here to talk about mostly.
Okay, y'all get started. I'm gonna pee and get another beer.
All right.
Should we just take a break for a minute?
All right, we'll take a break.
Man in right here. Yo, this has been an adventure to get here.
Give him the thing. Allison, Queen Allison, the distinguished citizenry of Charters and Downman, raise our glorious glasses to you, Queen, in honor of your dedication, support, and ongoing, ever-growing commitment to the people of New Orleans. Allison! We toast you, your mind, your soul, your starboard spirit. May you reign as Queen of Mama Roo. Bring you all the joy and ecstatic exuberation that you so deserve. Allison! Allison! Our friend! Our comrade! Our fucking
Cheers!
Cheers! Fucking right.
Cheers!
It's not. It is. Okay, it's recording. All right, so we're back. So now is the part where we are going to talk about what happened during Krewe Du Vieux this year.
The greatest parade of all time.
Greatest parade in the world.
I love Krewe Du Vieux. And it was a very good year.
You're not biased at all about any of that stuff.
I'm not biased at all.
Okay.
For those of you who don't know, Alli was the queen of the most venerable crew in the Krewe Du Vieux.
Most venerable.
Yes. I don't want to say oldest.
We're one of the oldest for sure.
Gotta be. Well, I mean, like...
One of the more venerable.
Like, not oldest, like as in when they were established, but like the median age.
They've
yourself notwithstanding.
racked up some veneration over the years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah. You may remember them from the gigantic gap of 2015, the 3-block long gap in 2015 where a bridal party ended up in the middle of the parade on Royal Street. There were people in wheelchairs and pedicabs in our crew. Or I'm a former member of it, so let's speak from some experience.
Let's do it this way. So, Alli, I think you should start talking about this because you were riding as the queen.
I was
this year,
the queen of Mamaru.
So tell us about
Queen All Eye.
So tell us about your get up and tell us about the whole thing.
So our theme started. So I came up with our theme as well, which is why it was really fun for me to be the queen for the year for like a theme that was my idea.
It was a good one.
Which was originally phrased as living in the red and blue light district, but it morphed over time into Mamaru sees you or Mamaru is watching you. Mm-hmm. So it was all about surveillance. So our concept was, we all know the omnipresent real-time security crime cameras or whatever that feed into the real-time crime camera center and like
with the red and blue flashing
and blue flashing lights. They're all over town and they're horrible and invasive and all of that. And so we were going to make the float look like it had cameras stuck all over it. We ended up rigging some screens onto the float and using an actual camera, like so that everyone watching the parade could like see themselves on camera, which I thought was really cool.
Endymion does this, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what was happening with the TV screens?
But okay. I thought it was a ripoff of Endymion, like a parody of what Endymion does, but
Oh.
also like a commentary on the whole situation. Like it's surveillance, but also like Endymion's thing is unwittingly a surveillance parody in
Yeah,
itself.
it definitely was that. We definitely did that.
I thought it was brilliant.
But we also had really cool costumes. I think everybody wore black from the neck down, and then everyone wore white hard hats with security cameras mounted to them.
It was really good
with
costumes.
lots of red and blue blinky lights all over, and they looked amazing. And then I was the queen, so my getup, I had a giant, enormous eyeball and a wig. And
Queen All Eye.
yeah, and there was a little jaunty little crown on top of the eyeball, and I had this really cool black and white jacket, and then Pat wore a costume that I was calling Captain Toad, like from Mario, because he had like a big eyeball with a hard hat on it, and it looked like Toad's hat meat,
Yeah.
and of like a French like gilet jaune vest and more eyeball like overall type things. It was cool. But Pat wasn't the king; he was the consort, so he didn't get to look as cool as me. That
like
was
a
the
Prince
point.
Philip type figure.
That was the point. Yeah, the consort to the queen. But I think we're one of the only crews that actually has people ride on their float in Krewe Du Vieux. Other crews use that space for paper mache penises and other sorts of designs.
Dicks going into superdomes.
Yeah, that was a great float.
Overall, they've gotten so much better Like, just in the last 10 years.
Oh, they're
they're
amazing.
making amazing floats now.
I think Krewe Du Vieux is the best parade. Like, I love it so much. And I'm so glad that, like, that we keep raising our game in really fun, interesting ways. But I think I think Mamaru is the only crew that, like, puts royalty on the float. I don't know what all the other sub-crews' traditions are as far as if they even have royalty or whatever, but we do. So I got to ride in the front of the float. I had throws. I had custom sunglasses that I had made. I had some beads that I made because you told me how to do it. That said, Mamaru is watching you. And I had talked to you, Varg, a couple of days before the parade. I said, once I got confirmation from my captain that I could stop the float real quick for a toast, I was like, all right, let me see if he wants to do it. And my captain said, like, yeah, absolutely, no problem. You're the queen. We'll do whatever. So you said, great, let's do it. I'd be honored.
I want that corner to be the Gallier Hall of the new Mardi Gras. I'll get in on the new Mardi Gras if I can be the fucking mayor.
Well, the routes, both that and Delusion and I think Crew Bohem, they all made that corner. They're all
Bohem went straight there.
Oh, it did?
But,
okay. But they're all going by.
Yeah.
So they're all hitting Domain and Charters it is Gallier Hall.
It is a big corner. It's an important corner.
It is.
So as we're on the route, the crowds are great. It's a little sweaty, but it's okay. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful night, and Mamaru is last in the parade.
Smartly last, because if they start to lag a little bit behind as they have in the past. They're slow.
No, we're fine.
Okay,
we're fine. But we were last. It's always
during your reign.
It's a draw of how what position you are. But as we're going, I had talked to the people with the mule before we got in the float. I said, listen, I want to stop at Charters and Domain. My friend's going to do a toast from the gallery. And they were like, yeah, okay, cool. I was like, I'll yell to you when it's, when we're almost there.
So you're already answering my questions. My questions were going to be, did you talk to everybody about it? And
I told the escorts that were in the front too, because every crew has 6 escorts that go along with them. Uh-huh. I told them. I had no idea who the escorts were. Like, the people I knew were in the back. And so these people up front, I was like, I had no idea who they were. One of which was the angriest lady I've ever seen in my life. She kept screaming at people like, get the fuck out of the way. Like, she was like, and I was like, whoa. And I mean, like, brutal. And she had, like, the expression of, like a women's college basketball coach, where she was just like, she looked like a hyper competitive but also very sour person.
No, it's some authority coming.
Never going to be good enough.
And like just screaming at people to the point that it was distracting me. I'm like, can you calm down?
It was like that negative influence that's just right outside your realm that you just...
Yeah, I was starting
to... your buzz.
I'm starting to get irritated, kind of like I do with my upstairs neighbors.
God damn it, we're having joy here.
Yeah, we're trying
Make way for the joy.
We're trying to have a good time. And I was also... another observation I had along the way was that people were not cheering for me and Pat. They were screaming for the camera guy who was up, perched above us.
So they wanted to be on TV.
They wanted to be on TV, and they were like, it was like we were not there. It was really weird.
It was weird.
That's great because you can, like, it's subterfuge.
But like it was like we were all part of an art project,
right.
But it also was hard to throw things to people because they weren't watching me. They were watching the screens. And so without, you know this from riding, like without eye contact, you can't really throw things. People are going to...
You could hurt somebody.
And people are not going to catch them. And I had a ton of glass beads, but I had some handmade throws or like I made some little packages of stuff and I wanted to make sure it got caught. So it was kind of weird in that regard. And like people were so excited to be on TV. At some points I would yell at them. I'd be like, the cameras are supposed to be creepy. You're supposed to be weirded out right now.
Right, so that's the failure right there. Like, we're doing it to ourselves. It's like everybody bought an Alexa. You know, everybody.
Yeah, it's
wants
like we
that.
created a reality show for
Right.
Mardi Gras or whatever.
That's
Not to mention, if somebody gets caught on a crime camera committing a crime, they get 14 days in the jail. After that, if that crime footage is out there, they're gonna be like, "Hey, check it out, man! Yeah, look, there I am. I kicked that motherfucker's ass. Yep." They're gonna be, ghetto famous and shit like that.
Well, that's an interesting take. I'm
full of them, Jeff.
But
I don't think that's how the cameras work.
no, but
Well, no. So, like, if you end up on a YouTube or on a fucking, if you're on the news committing some fucking crime or whatever, and afterwards you do your time and shit, you're famous for that fucking shit.
you're YouTube famous for a minute because
you're hood famous for the rest of your fucking life. Like, you'll never let anyone forget that one time you were on the news and shit like that.
I don't know. I had another digression, but I'm going to save it for later since we can move on.
Oh, well, so as we approached the corner, I could see you guys, but it was still too far away. And then we made the turn, and I'm yelling at them to stop, but I don't think they heard me.
Yeah.
Well, they had stopped at the wrong corner. It was the right corner, but it was the wrong. They stopped between Harry's and what the other shop there is called Quark. And they should have stopped between Harry's and the Dirty Boys Gallery.
Yeah, but they didn't stop down there on purpose for a reason. They just stopped.
They stopped because the parade had stopped.
Yeah.
Which was weird.
Yeah, and we had actually been, like, a block earlier, we had been stuck there for quite some time. And so I was like, so close, and yet so far. And I believe I texted y'all and said, we are, like, almost there.
Right.
We're coming up Dumaine.
So the problem with me is that I saw y'all stopped there. And I was like looking at the float, and because it had TV screens, because it had a camera, and because it's been like I'm 3 years removed from the crew, and all I remember is previous float designs, which always involved a spinning thing and a smoke machine.
Yep.
So when I looked
both
at that
of which
float,
were removed this year.
yeah, when I looked at that float and I saw not only not a smoke machine or a spinning thing, but also TV screens, I was like, that can't possibly be them. That is too like high tech for them. So I just sat there and watched y'all for like 5 fucking minutes or so, however long you were stopped, and was just like, it couldn't be them. And then when y'all went by, I like looked you right in the eyes and just was like, oh, there they go. And
well, what it looked like to me was y'all come around the corner and everybody's really excited to see everybody. Hi, and then it looks like Alli is like, she suddenly realizes that they're not stopping.
Yeah.
And she's trying to get somebody's attention to see if they'll stop, and nothing happens.
Yeah.
And then they keep on going, and I'm like, she didn't even ask them to stop.
I did. I did, like, twice.
I believed you did because we were waiting and you were in contact and the whole party was sitting there waiting.
I know, and the thing is, like, when we didn't stop, it bummed me the fuck out. I was like, because I saw all y'all. I think I threw you guys some.
I caught some.
You caught some. I could see it, and it was like I could see what it was supposed to be in the moment that it was supposed to occur, and then we were gone, and it did not happen, and it was like all of a sudden it was like mourning what could have been.
Oh man!
And I was really down, and I was like. And Pat's trying to, like, cheer me up and stuff, and I was like...
Yeah, it was a bummer.
I was like, oh my god, we missed it. And...
But
then the parade doubled back. And on the... we come back up Royal. Mm-hmm. Which is, I believe, where you...
No. Here's what happened.
Okay.
So we did
a whole other story.
Yeah, we did two things. I think your mind is a little hazy at this point, so let's...
I was not sober.
All right, understandably.
You say your side, and then I'll say my side.
The first thing that we did was we said, well, damn it, we're going to do the toast anyway, even though you're gone. So Lance is on the ladder, and he has the megaphone.
This was the bronze toast of the 3 toasts that happened tonight.
Right.
This was the bronze medal winning toast.
Okay.
And he, he reads the thing, and we're all in the room, and we're like acting as though it's happening. There's
acting.
The camera is.
I was merely acting.
I filmed it. And the camera is on Lance the whole time. There's there's no evidence that there's nothing behind us. But like he just reads the whole thing, and we all cheer, and it's all very exciting. And then that ends, and then I don't know, like a minute or so later, we're like, "Fuck it, we're gonna go."
Well, wait. Right before,
because we were the last float, so by the parade's over.
Right.
When you're about to come, and I'm trying to gear myself up for the performance, and I'm about to step out onto the stage. A girl has a vape pen there, and I'm like, this is going to make it extra special. So I go ahead and I'm like, hit the vape pen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, by the time I'm reading this thing, I'm going to be high as hell, and I'm going to be feeling it, right? Well, I don't end up reading the fucking thing, because you go by, and I was starting to get high, but I wasn't quite as high. So then I read it, and I'm still climbing that little buzz. And then what happens is the buzz fully fucking hits me. I'm suddenly stoned as a motherfucker. And I'm like, let's go fucking chase the float. We're reading this motherfucker. It was like a Rudy type moment. Like where the music was building. It's like, we can't let this happen. So, it's not going down. We're reading this fucking shit to her. Let's go, boys!
So that was basically what happened. And so Lance says that. And there are two people who respond. They are me and Tim. The only people. Well, yes, let's go. So,
it was an Animal House, which I know you've never seen the movie, but it's like, let's go, and we all run.
Three of us.
Well, three of us. It's like that scene in Game of Thrones where Jon Snow and the Giant and Tormund Giantsbane are running after the other bastard, right. Ramsay Bolton, and we're just like, dun, 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 right? So as we're running up, now we're running up the parade route. And it's just broken through, okay? Like the parade is over, and now you got people out in the street, right? And we're running up the street. So the only thing I can compare it to two things. One is back when I was in Mama Roo, every now and then you'd have to bump out of the parade. Out of it to go pee, and then you'd have to catch up to it. Yep. And that was kind of, you had to like shoot down the street. And that had prepared me for it. The second thing that had prepared me for it was every top scrolling video game that I had ever played in my youth. River Raid, Contra, the ones where you're a little thing at the bottom of the screen, and things just kind of come at you from the top of the screen. Okay. And you have to dodge them, or shoot them, or like put a little move on it and bump over here. Yeah. And then you see a little thing over here, so you shoot over there like that, right? And the things that were coming out of the top of the screen were like Mardi Gras tropes. Like I was running down the street with the thing in my hand, and I was like, okay, there's an inflatable T-Rex right there. Let me bounce out of the way there, and I start running up a little bit. I'm like, girl twerking right here. Let me bounce over here. Let me dodge that. Oh, there's some three Chads fucking like dressed in and they're walking down the street all drunk. Let me jump on put a spin move on them. Bam, we finally get up there.
And then then the big bosses come. Because then there's the fire truck. Oh, get around the fire truck.
There's a big fire truck. Okay, we have to come up. We have to come from the flank to get them.
Then the police.
But my eyes, because I'm so fucking high and full of adrenaline at this point, my eyes are on the prize. I'm like, there's no fucking way we're not getting through all this. Right.
Shit. So
we're catching her.
The big bosses were the firemen. You have to say, excuse me. And then the police. Oh, I hope the police don't yell at me for going by them.
You kind of got to like change up your little. You got to scoot on by them. You can't be like, get the fuck out of the way.
Then there's, oh shit, I'm in the band. Right. Then you have to duck underneath somebody's wing or whatever the hell that was.
Well, then we're in the crew because they always, behind the float in front of the band. Yep. Then we're in the crew. There's eyeballs staring at us everywhere and shit.
Meanwhile, my shoe was untied the whole time.
Oh, good.
While we're doing this.
I'm glad you didn't die.
So then we made it.
Then we get there, and the look on your face was one of absolute joy.
It made my entire night. And no joke, I was about to cry. I was so happy, and it just meant the fucking world to me that you guys chased me down, and to hear you say, our friend, our comrade, our queen.
Yeah, I broke you off a comrade.
I was like,
Even though I got the issues with it.
It hit me right here, and after that, I was able to thoroughly enjoy being queen the rest of the parade.
Oh hell yeah!
It made it. I was down because I feel like we missed the moment, but then
it set us up for greatness.
You guys coming back and doing that for me, it seriously, it made my whole night. It was so great.
Well, we were extremely proud of ourselves afterwards. we did it.
Oh, good.
And I got video of it, but it was really shitty video. I'm like, oh god, wait, no, I know I'm doing this wrong. I probably this is going to be Alli's feet or something, but and a lot of it is. But
my feet?
Well, no, maybe not.
Okay.
So there's a little shaky video of it, and we did it, and then the float takes off again. We're okay, we did it, but we're very proud of ourselves, and we're walking back and we're talking about how great we are and how this is it. We won. We're 1-0. We did it.
Yep.
And then
that was a win.
At that moment, walking up the street comes Harry Shearer, and
I forgot about that.
And Mark's like, "Hey, high five, Harry Shearer!" Boom, and then just nothing. We just keep going.
Yeah, but just as if it was it was the lead. I forgot about it. That's how important it was.
Wow.
And it was funny as fuck. Hey, we did it, Harry Shearer. All right, pow. I forgot all about Harry Shearer.
Oh my god. No, after that I turned to Pat and I was like, wow, that just made my whole night. And he was like, oh, good.
Yeah, I'm glad yeah. You know what? I probably wouldn't have been able to do it without my Crescent City Classic fucking training that I've been doing recently.
Wow.
Yeah, I kept my wind up. Yeah. I was running. I had, I felt it, maybe not even without that football victory we had on Super Bowl Sunday. I was like, we could do this. Boys, let's go. Come on. We got it.
You took your intensity out to the field.
I did. Out to the fucking parade route, and we got a win. That was 2 wins.
Well, the rest of the night was great. We went to the ball for a little bit. We left the ball and went to the gallery for a little bit. You did the toast again.
We did the toast 3 times.
And then we went back to the ball and hung out for a little bit, and then we went home. And we left the ball at the right time because you can't wait until you actually want to be home to leave. You have to leave right before you actually want to be home.
This is key in almost everything in life.
Because we had to walk to the Basin Street Station parking lot where Pat had stashed his truck earlier that day. And
he took it and slid it underneath a mat or something?
Yeah.
He stashed it?
Exactly.
Put it between 2 cushions?
Yeah, he put it in the dead drop and then put the chalk on the sign so that we knew it would be there. But we had to walk all the way there, and after a day like that, that's a long walk. And so I was glad that we were still feeling pretty good when we left, because by the time we got to the truck, I was like, I want to be in my bed right now. And then I had to go home and take off all my makeup, and I felt like I was wearing a lot because I had gotten it done. I paid somebody to do my makeup for me because I wanted it to to be good.
Sure.
I knew there would be a lot of photos and stuff.
There were cameras everywhere.
It was
good.
You're on TV.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not good at makeup because I'm 33 and I don't know. I just learned about eyeshadow primer last year. So, we're all learning and growing all the time.
Sure. Don't ever stop.
So I paid somebody to do my makeup. But then I was like, man, I didn't even get I got this put on 13 hours ago, and here it's all coming off right now. Shit. It just feels a little man, it's gone already,
Well, I mean, is 13 hours, that seems like it's pretty good for a makeup job if you still had it on 13 hours later.
It's just
especially considering everything you did.
But I feel yes, I totally agree. It's just wow.
Yeah.
There was a lot of build up, and then you do all the things, and then it's done. So.
Think about how the athletes feel, the Saints players feel. After a good Sunday, when they have to go back home and just be regular people. You were the queen of Mamaru, and it was amazing and beautiful and exuberant, and then it's all over.
Yeah.
It's like something maybe you want to do some heroin or something after just to achieve the buzz.
No.
What I was thinking that it would be
I have been playing a lot of video games, though.
I
Super
was
Mario
thinking
Odyssey.
it would be more like you were the kid in class who has already given their presentation, and you don't have to like be nervous while everybody else is doing their shit. So like, now you can just go to Mardi Gras and not worry about anything.
I feel that every year after Krewe Du Vieux, I believe I've said this on this very show before, that like every year after Krewe Du Vieux is done, it's like a big relief for me because I've done like my fun, hardworking thing and put in all the work, and now I could get to like coast for the rest of the season and just enjoy the parades. And I don't have to stress about like doing another thing because I usually already have a costume. Because I know you disagree with this, but I wear my Krewe Du Vieux one again.
I'm loosening on that. I'll get to that in a bit.
Okay. So spoiler alert, I'm gonna wear it again on Mardi Gras Day.
That's good.
Although I may change up the coat or whatever depending on the weather. But I'm definitely gonna wear that headpiece again. So yeah, who knows? Yeah, but it was awesome. It was awesome. I also I have my photo taken with Walter Wolfman Washington, who was the king. So him and his queen stopped by my captain's house, and so we had a royalty photo together.
Hell yeah!
That was really nice. It was a good time. I can't believe it's over already.
It's not. There's 2 more weekends.
Well, I mean, Krewe Du Vieux.
The Krewe Du Vieux, yeah.
New Mardi Gras is over now. And now it's time. Now it's time to do old Mardi Gras.
Yeah,
Krewe Du Vieux is not, I don't think, part of New Mardi Gras.
No, it's definitely not.
Oh, no.
It's
started in the 80s.
It's the granddaddy.
There is no New Mardi
these
Gras.
people.
I thought we established that in the first segment.
Right, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's
New
just
Mardi
something
Gras.
that MacCash made up.
Yeah, let's not feed the MacCash. Don't feed the Doug.
MacCash Gras is over, and it is now Fat MacCash.
Doug McGraw.
Fat MacCash.
Fat Doug.
Doug McGraw.
Well, the thing about after Krewe Du Vieux, what we did afterwards was we hung out in front of the gallery. We were super ecstatic and everything. Crew Delusion came by.
I didn't even see it this year.
I didn't either.
I didn't pay any attention to it.
But it took so long for us because I lived back on the West Bank. But even when I lived in Mid-City, it was the same. In Holly Grove, it was the same thing. It took so long. You either have to pay out your ass or wait a long time to get a cab home. Mm-hmm. Or, you can't, drive that fucking drunk and everything. So what had happened after that was something that I've started experiencing. I've had a bad flare-up of this year, and I can't see it going anywhere, was I'm starting to have a little bit of, like, Mardi Gras fucking fatigue, where I'm just like, oh, I can't do the things I normally do. I can't, because I work in the French Quarter now, and I'm there a lot. I can't, every coffee house is full as fuck. There's never any parking. The ferry's full as fuck. Everybody's fucking drunk. And I'm just trying to, like, live my normal life while also reveling and then having to deal with all that shit, too. So that night was the biggest flare-up ever of just, like, fuck this shit.
Well, let me ask you this. You've worked in the Quarter forever, as an artist.
Yeah,
right?
I got a bad case of quarter fatigue, for sure.
But this is different in that...
Well, it's quarter fatigue it's a flare-up of your arthritis and your stomach ailments. It's like two things. Like, you're having a little bit of a respiratory issue, but you're also having, like, arthritis at the same... It's two things crossing at the same time. They're both flaring up, whereas, like, I don't even want to have to deal with being in the Quarter. I don't want to have to deal with tourists. I don't want to have to deal with drunk people. I don't want to have to deal with drunk tourists in the Quarter, and it's just
I imagine it's harder running the gallery than it was just having to set up in the square. I might be wrong, but I imagine that it is.
I would think that the gallery would insulate you from some of the Jackson Square nonsense.
It does, but Jackson Square, at least you got in there and you got out. You weren't like a stationary place.
Yeah, your hours are different now.
And they would come in and they are,
Like, you're at their mercy because they just come in.
Right, once they're in there, you have to deal with them. Whereas out on the street, they tend to, traipse along, Whereas sometimes they come in there and they think that the fucking gallery is just another little thing in Disneyland. Like a little thing that they can go gawk at and shit like that. And they don't understand that it's a business and that's part of it and everything. But the thing about your costume
it's an
also...
experience.
Yeah, like, they're not there to buy anything. They're just there to look at it, you know. And the thing about your costume is that this year I finally was just like, I'm going to do me a costume this year, and then next year I'm just going to do a fucking forever costume. Like, that's going to be the costume. I'm going to do a permanent costume, and I was thinking even maybe I'll do it so it's paintable. So, like, every year I'm going to be the Yellow King. Or this year, and then the next year I'll just paint it red. I'll be like, same costume, just red. And get like, what is there? How many colors are there? There's like 8 colors or 9 colors I can get out of that, huh? Black, white, Roy GBV, silver, gold. That's like 10 years worth of fucking costumes.
Yeah, it sounds good. Now, I can tell you this, just speaking as an old Mardi Gras person, I mean, you know, there shouldn't be any pressure to have a costume or a good costume or a costume at all. Like, just do whatever you feel that year, and then
It's been such a part of the experience for me, though.
that's great. And
As an artist and a creative person, you
Absolutely.
know, it's just like, and especially the day, Mardi Gras Day,
Yes.
it's it helps to, it's essential for me, anyways.
It helps me get in the spirit of it, and I feel, and I get a little perturbed when Pat doesn't want to go as hard, and I don't go that hard, honestly. Like, compared to most people doing downtown Mardi Gras, I don't do, like, that intense of a costume.
Well, I was going to say that I'm starting to go the other direction. Like, for years and years, like, I would never wear a costume on Mardi Gras Day.
I've never seen you in a costume
Yeah.
Well,
for any event whatsoever.
I don't think I have either.
and then for a long time, my costume on Mardi Gras Day was just like put on the Saints jersey.
Saints jersey.
Yeah.
That's not a.
and just go.
I'm
do
not
whatever.
counting that, bro.
Yeah. And then, so in recent years, I've been wearing, because I have a couple of float costumes that are just left over that I've been wearing those.
Still strikes me as
No,
Float Jeff.
It's going the other direction a
Well,
little bit.
Float Jeff is different than I'm never wearing a costume ever, Jeff. That's for
right.
sure.
It's still
But
kind of.
that might evolve into
They
something
make
else.
him wear that.
I'm just saying
He's
that
not
it might,
choosing to.
I'm saying that
You've
might
got
have,
that chef's hat, right?
Yeah, I still have that whole thing.
Yeah.
So I'm
See,
just
I'd
saying,
love to see if you just showed up in a chef's outfit. I'd be like, "Yay, Jeff's in a costume."
and the other thing that's happened every year is I've gotten into making specialty beads every year.
Yeah.
So that's a thing that I do now. I've got this year's edition is going to be Valerio. We've got the
Who's that?
Our king.
Who's Valerio?
Valerio.
Jeff's son, Valerio.
I've never heard of him.
Valerio was the hero of 2018 and really the hero that the city deserves. But it's a two-sided bead. It's got on one side it's got the the famous Dan Swinson graphic of the fallen comrades of
Thanks,
Valerio.
Dan.
The 5 alpacas, the emu, and the 3 foxes.
Copper, Rusty,
Yeah,
Daisy,
Lil
That's all I
Melody.
can name.
Lil Melody. I was like,
Aw.
Lil something.
Yeah, Alicia, Noel, our friends. And then on the reverse side, it's Valerio on his first birthday.
He's got a gourd.
It is, I think. I don't know.
Y'all come out to the Toth route, and you'll see and holla at Jeff, and
But-
maybe you'll catch one of these Valerio beads.
It's a photograph I found of him on his first birthday, I think when he was at the San Diego Zoo. And the inscription is, freedom is what we do with what is done to us.
Jesus, what is that from?
It's a Sartre.
Wow.
And
Valerio and I were born in the same town.
so anyway, there are a couple versions. There are the two-sided versions of these, and then some are just one side or the other side.
I prefer the victims. Fuck him on his birthday.
Yeah.
That's the iconic image.
I don't know. I think that you want to know the whole story.
The ones of him on his birthday are golden and triumphant, and the ones of his victims are his dark side, or are black.
Well, I mean, there's
And there's more somber of a tone or sinister of a tone.
there's many aspects to every story. I think is
right.
what that's.
All right. Well, look, Jeff's exploring his creativity here.
It's great.
That's the point. So, like every year, I've kind of gotten into doing this.
If we got you a
create-
Jaguar costume, would you wear it on Mardi Gras Day?
I don't know. That's
not a no.
I don't know.
There's some wiggle room there.
We'll see how we feel about that. But that's my version of doing a costume in recent years. So
I don't
that's,
know.
that's
Those
where-
are really
and to
good.
think it all started with Team Rita, Team Gale.
Team Rita, Team Gale. Those are my favorite ones still.
We
They're
all know
so
who won
good.
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right. So now you can only have Team Gale if we print them in the future.
The Saints are Team Gale.
Gale's team.
It's not Team Gale. It's Gale's team.
Gale. It's just
Dallas
Gale.
might have America's team, but we have Gale's team.
I wonder if she paid off Rita's layaway. You think she goes like, "You got anything in there under Rita Benson?"
Oh my God.
Like,
I just got it.
I just want to extend you a little bit of courtesy, Rita. Whatever you got on layaway, I'll pay off. All right. That would have been petty as fuck. Huh?
Oh wow.
Anyway, I think
That should be it.
I think that should be it this week. We have some stuff lined up with the Zulu blackface issue, but we can save that for the post Mardi Gras thing.
Right. Well, we'll see how it shakes out.
That's going to continue to develop.
It continues to unfold.
It will.
Are they trying to get them to change it like this year?
Yeah.
Are they?
Take Him Down Nola was outside Zulu HQ this afternoon, to which Zulu drowned them out with a brass band, and a bunch of the guys, I'm assuming, went inside, put on their makeup, and came outside and were dancing around. We're like, we're going to have a party.
Wait,
they're coming head up.
It happened today.
Wait, that's a thing that happened today, and that is
Yes.
not some cartoon that we just created.
It happened today.
Holy shit, I have to go look this up. Yeah, I'm glad we're not even
So
talking
Zulu's
about
dug in.
There's a video of it on Danny Monteverde's Twitter.
this. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at that as soon as we finish here.
So
That's
they're like,
amazing.
fuck you.
Other things to look out for this
It's
year.
just it's funny too because like people are like, oh, I bet Take Him Down Nola is a bunch of people from out of town. It's like, it's not. It's Malcolm Suver and like Quest and a bunch of other like people of color who are from here, and you know. But anyway,
Malcolm and the Outside Agitators
Yeah, but I mean,
oh yeah,
at the Zulu Club at 9.
Do we have a drive wire? We have a bunch of people have tweeted them at us.
wait, did somebody send out the tweet?
Someone did. I can read it, but we have if we have anything.
We
The
do-
Jive
I know
Wire
we
is
have
brought
some.
to you at the oddest hours. To get your gig into the Jive Wire, tweet at Hunker Downcast.
And hashtag Jive Wire.
Hashtag Jive Wire.
Oh, hang on.
Also, if you want to donate to the Hunker Downcast, go to patreon.com/hunkerdowncast. And much love and thanks to all you who have donated so far.
So this is going to be an abbreviated listing this week, I'm afraid.
Not much going on in town tonight, y'all. Everyone's gearing up for the Mardi Gras.
Callie Calliope already played at Sunset.
Callie still out there.
Callie Calliope is on the Steamboat Queenie at what time?
At
Sunset.
At sunset.
Let's see what we got here. Sidewalk Side for Sparta, 5 p.m. at Gordon Ramsay's Trolley Stop.
Oh,
Chewbacca's in December, featuring Arcade Fire, the Melba's parking lot at midnight.
ooh, I like that one.
Those are Hello Newman, by the way.
Hello, Newman.
Let's see what else we got here. Lip Rap says Smokebound Downman at 7 alarm at Firehouse 420.
Oh,
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Fredo says that 4,000 non-Knicks are playing at the Purse House at Sunset.
4,000 on there.
Also, Awkward Confederate Beads play at the Lost Cause Bar at Sunset.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't there no more.
Okay, no.
Where's the other one that we had? Oh, Rex Toast and the Comus Conflagration are at the Flambeau House at 9.
Dip.
Lots of topical bands.
Yeah,
This
a lot
isn't
of-
too abbreviated.
Not too bad.
It's mostly good.
I'm not really finding any others. Do you see any others, Allie?
The brain-eating Abitas at Shambula's at 10.
Betty's
Pub and Grub and Rub and Tug.
Rub and Tug.
Playing, and that's the bar. That's the Napoleon Avenue Construction Zone broke up, huh?
They're going.
What about
So
Jack?
the Louisiana Avenue.
That was their more fusion based.
We understand.
Later on, they added an organ player and shit like that. And
Yeah.
then they broke up too.
That was the Tusk of Construction Zone bands.
Yeah, it's Construction Zone that fucks everything up, man. He you can't work with that guy.
The last one we have is Beer and Book Drop is reforming, and they're preparing to come to a corner near you at sometime next week.
Oh, and also Fleetwood Mac is playing a Justice for Lindsey Buckingham Fest at the night of Krewe Du Vieux.
Also, starring with the opening act of the Juggalo Nation. Gathering of the Juggalos.
All right,
Love you, Lindsay.
That's your Jive Wire calendar for this week. So get out there and support
And enjoy.
some live
Local
music.
I think it was Kevin Allman that said, tonight in town you have Fleetwood Mac fans, Juggalos, and Krewe Du Vieux attendees, and you can pretty much tell which one is which just by looking at it.
which I disagreed with so vehemently
Because you're like three of them.
I have been to the Juggalo March. I am a diehard Fleetwood Mac fan, and I was the queen of Mama Ru.
Right, like you were like that.
And now, granted, I did not go to the Juggalo March because I am a Juggalo. I went for socialism reasons.
Right,
Which there's a weird crossover between Juggalos and Socialists. Y'all should go ahead and holler at your daddy about that. Say, hey, look, man, you could get a few extra votes in every precinct if you just, show up with Shaggy, Too Dope, and
I think we
Violent
just
J.
wanted to show them some solidarity since a lot of them have been hounded by the FBI or like police for like real shitty reasons, and they've been designated a gang and like all sorts of stuff. And so we just wanted to show up and say like, hey, this is bullshit and we support you.
What if Fleetwood
Go
Mac
do your
fans
thing.
were called a gang? That wouldn't be fucking cool.
I agree. Yeah.
I think the larger point is that last weekend was like Alli harmonic convergence.
It was
Like all
really
of the things
That was
came together at one time.
she self-actualized.
You know what? And all the fleas died in my apartment because it got sprayed. So
And then other
Premier
shit
Rouge of
happened.
Fleas happened. That's really that's another important thing to.
everything is it's all happening.
There you go. So all right.
And now it's Mardi Gras time, and so we will record a recap in a couple weeks.
Yeah, get ready for that.
Woo!
And
Are we going to record some sound bites from the parades?
I'm game.
All right.
So we'll come find us during the parades.
I'll be there Sunday.
If you can find us out on the parade route somewhere during carnival season, we'll record you and have a conversation, and we'll put that on the show. So
We'll
look
see
for us.
if we can find that mysterious Korean jambalaya cart again that appeared like the Confederates in the Electric Mist and then disappeared once
Confederates in the
forevermore.
Electric Mist. All right.
It was a true Mardi Gras miracle.
It was there when we needed it. I think we made it up.
All right, guys. You think we did it?
We got it.
All right. All right, guys.
Good night.
Check y'all next time.